At this point, I would love to open it up to the audience for a little Q&A. Does that sound good? Is that good? Does anybody else have anything they want to share before we open it up for a Q&A? And then...
I thought the guitar performance was amazing. I just want to put that out there.
All right, the guitar performance was amazing. Thank you for saying that.
It was amazing.
My name is Juliana Lesser. I go to Eastside Middle School, and I was wondering, after you write a song, record it, get the instruments and everything, what do you do?
It depends on the timing of it all. I think sometimes we'll sit with a song for a really long time, even when we're done with it, and play it for a bunch of people. Sometimes by choice, sometimes not. Yeah, I mean, I think sitting with material is super important to us because we're listening and to our music and to other people's music all the time, and that allows us to come up with new ideas every day. So the songs always develop over time, even when we start recording it.
Yeah, I totally agree that no one really tells you when you're just starting out, no one really tells you how to get from no connections to the one tiny level above that we are. And I think it's, if you can post your stuff on Instagram, if you can post your stuff on social media, if you can upload it to SoundCloud, to YouTube, perform live as much as you can, never take no for an answer, just keep promoting it no matter what, even if your friends are sick of it, you have to fight for your own stuff, above everything.
For me, I've still never put anything out. The song Silence is coming out June 21st, and that's the first thing I'm ever actually putting out into the world. But I think even if you even if you don't physically put it out, just send it to people. You have no idea whose hands that's gonna end up in. Number one, number two, it's great for feedback. You want to know whether you post it or whether you don't. It's so important to know how people are reacting to it, because people are going to pay attention to things that you totally looked past, and maybe that's a little key that tells you more about something that you should be paying closer attention to, or just you just have no idea who's going to hear it and who's going to gravitate towards it. And yeah, I think just, as Maude said, push it out into the world, whatever way you do it. It's so easy to do that on the internet now. So, yeah.
Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for that question. That was a nice question.
My name is Carmen, and the three of us, they're sitting down, I'm sorry, are a part of a band as well. We don't sell out gigs or anything like that, but we want to know how would you recommend for us to take the initiative to get the courage to sell out gigs, or to get any gigs at that? Yes.
Sorry, that was loud. I mean, if you feel passionate about it, there's no reason why you shouldn't just start booking gigs, making as many songs as you want. Sorry, this is a little loud. Because our first show, nobody was at it. Our first songs were such trash. But without doing those things, we wouldn't have been here. So you just got to get the ball rolling. You got to start booking gigs. Just make songs. Do whatever you want.
Sorry. Putting out music and making music, it puts you in a very vulnerable position, and especially at the beginning, you need to understand that it's going to be hard and there are going to be more downs than ups sometimes, but that's just how you move forward, and that's how you get better and learn and stuff.
Also, y'all look like you're friends and you trust each other, which is very important, because since it's so vulnerable, it's so great that you can have people to trust. And really, for us, when we started making music, it was just we were hanging out, because we were friends before and the music followed. And I think that's very important, because when you're in that comfortable space, you get to make whatever you want with no judgment.
Just to finish that point, I think a lot of times for us, like, it's really hard when you first put something out. There's going to be so like much that you're thinking about, like, what are people going to think about this? How, like, what are kids going to think at school? Like, and we definitely dealt with that when we were first like getting together and releasing music. But that's how you find your team. That's how you find your friends. Like, you know, we've met so many great people just from like putting our stuff out there at our school, and the kids who you would like never think to talk to are like, we really love your music. And you know, that's how we found like one of our best friends is our photographer. Like, you know, that's just how you meet people. And a lot of times like it can be really scary at first, but it's definitely worth it.
Everybody, as they said, like, your first stuff is gonna suck. It always does. But like songwriting, and in songwriting, everything that you do like ever is just like a rusty faucet. In the way that you turn it on, the first water is brown, but if you run it for long enough, it becomes clear. And that's what songwriting is. That's what performing is. That's what everything is. So like, if you want to do it, you just have to like stop giving a crap and just like freaking do it. Because there's literally there's zero difference between any of us and you guys, like, at all. There's nothing that like says that there was nobody that came to us and were like, you are allowed to make music, or like, you are allowed to do this. Like nobody's gonna give you permission, and if you wait for it, you're just gonna be waiting forever. Like, you just gotta, like, you wanna go get it, nobody's stopping you. Like, we wanna hear you. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, people want to be musicians so badly that if you, like, you have to want it more than literally anything in the entire universe, and like, no one is ever going to slow down to make you like get on this bus that's music. But like, you have to break every single rule that you think, I don't know, you have to stand out. So when you just like eat every single opportunity that comes, you just like have to take initiative. And like, I know Leyla too, like, both of us have written hundreds and hundreds of songs. Like, for your first question, what do you do after you finish writing a song? You have to write another one, and you have to write like so many for years, like years. I hate looking back sometimes and thinking, like, how I forget so often how painful the lowest moments have been. Like, how far the journey really is, but you just have to keep going and wanting it more than anyone. And shout out to people like Sam who hear those trash first songs and still think that there could possibly be something there. Like, you guys don't understand how bad this crap is a lot of the time, but like, she somehow recognizes something in it. So, that was trash.
Hi, I'm Cece. Thank you for saying all of this, and you have answered a lot of questions that I was going to ask. But do any of you have any sort of suggestions or advice for those who maybe like want to, say, record something in their bedroom, but you don't really have any like technology, like you can't get like Logic or something? Like right now I have sort of a phone app that has kind of good quality, but it's not the same. So what would you how would you respond to that?
For a while, like, we faced as a group, and even before that, like, just producing individually, like, the problem of not having as much gear as we wanted, and we still do. Like, we would love to have like all this crazy like keyboards and stuff, but we've realized that a lot of the time that like not having that stuff can be used as an excuse to just not express yourself creatively, and not even in a bad way, but just if you have an idea, I think it's just natural that you make do with what you have, even if it's like nothing. Like this artist that I know the five of us love, Steve Lacy, made like a whole album just on his iPhone, which is very inspiring for us, and it's fire. Like, it's very good. And I mean, so many people that we know just use GarageBand or like buy Logic with like a student discount. And once you have literally just a bare minimum, I think you're able to express yourself and make something that's uniquely you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So dead on. I know so many people that walk into my office have never had anything recorded whatsoever, right? And they might have access to a piano or a guitar, right? Hopefully you have that. And yes, yeah. So what a lot of times what people are doing is they'll come in and they'll play me a song that they recorded themselves. They just sat and videotaped themselves playing guitar, right? And they'll send it, or videotape themselves playing on piano. You can put it up on YouTube. You can do all these different things, right? And once you do that, people hear what you're doing, and say someone like me hears it, or someone like that, they're hearing it, they like it, and I'm gonna reach out to you, right? I'm gonna, or even if I don't hear it, but you come into my office, right, and we sit down, and you play me these things live, and I like what you're doing, right? Or maybe you're not quite there. I'll say, hey, you know what? Let's get you involved with this songwriting workshop. I know all the right people you should meet, right? And so I'll help put you in like a family of really good people so that you're not out there just sort of by yourself, right? And I'll help get you in the right community of people to help you get to that next level.
I think also, going back to what you said, GarageBand is like a super useful tool. It's very portable, and you can also download it for free on the internet, which is legal, but still works anyways. And it's also very analogous, very similar to Logic, so it's just a great learning tool. That and YouTube tutorials. I basically learned to produce on GarageBand and the internet, so that's enough to get you started for sure.
Also, do not be afraid to collaborate. Like, there's so many young budding music producers around you, like kids that are on GarageBand, trying to make beats in their bedroom before they know how to, kind of situation that if you don't have access to recording materials, or if you don't really necessarily have interest in it, there are way more people around you that you would never know trying to do that, and I'm sure those people are looking for people like you to record and just gain experience, so don't be afraid to branch out.
That's such a great suggestion. I mean, that's a lot of what I do all day long, and I'm so lucky to have all these amazing people come, into my office, so I can make those connections. And that's another reason coming into BMI can be so helpful. And it's one of the things that we do. One of the events that I talked about earlier was speed dating for songwriters, where we take 4 producers, 4 top liners, and 4 artists, and by the end of the night, they've all met one another. They play verse, chorus of a couple of songs together. Can you guys hear me? Did it go out? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it went out for a minute. Verse, chorus of a couple of songs together. You get to know each other. We all hang out, have a really good time. And by the end of the night, hopefully you've met other people that you can collaborate with, right? But you can literally now hit people up online. I know so many people that I meet who I'm like, how did you meet that person? And they're like, oh, I just hit them up on SoundCloud, right? And so if there's music that you like out there, hit them up. You never know. They may or may not respond, but it's a good place to start.
Excellent suggestions. Excellent. Thank you. Another question up front.
I'm Samira, and I was just wondering, what artists do you guys look for inspiration?
Okay, that's a great question. We have a giant list that's always growing because we listen to all of these different types of music every day and share it with each other. We love, I don't even know where to start. The Beatles are the greatest band of all time. So start there if you want some inspiration because they pioneered so much crazy stuff. What else? Who else?
Our good friends Brockhampton. Those are the homies.
Frank Ocean.
Bon Iver.
Tyler the Creator, and just so many more.
Been listening to this artist Coltrane a lot recently. Not John Coltrane, but he's a pop R&B artist who's super dope.
Stevie Wonder.
Amy Winehouse is my number one, and then I also am so about this alternative R&B craze that's going on with Daniel Caesar, her, Sabrina Claudio, Mac Ayres, yes. I just love soul shit. It's music. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Definitely this very songwriter, Regina Spektor, or Lord for sure. I guess Tame Impala, The Kooks, this type
type of the Strokes, New York City stuff. Yeah, and then a lot of also like small artists like our own age that have come up. Like Leyla was such an inspiration to me when I was little. A lot of like these Instagram people like Gracie Abrams, like or Samia, a lot of New York local people whose shows I could go to and like see the people who I like wanted to be in a few months or years and things like that. Yeah.
Also, like there are so many like young wannabe New York musician artists, whatever, like going playing shows at Rock and Music Hall or the Bitter End, or like we all have been doing that. Go to, if you are doing this and want to do it, go to the show, introduce yourself. Like these kids like all go to high school with you, and you don't even realize like they're so. You don't have to view them as being any kind of separate from you. Like become friends with them. It's not that hard. You literally just have to go up to them and say, "Hi, my name's blank. Let's chill." That sounds really lame when I say it, but.
I was just gonna add to what you said, Leyla. I was out last night seeing a 14-year-old perform at Rockwood Music Hall, and her name is Maude Latour. Happens, if I can say that, is it okay to say? Okay. Happens to be the sister of Jude, who's sitting next to me right now. She is absolutely incredible, and she's an example of someone out there just doing it, right? She's 14 years old, she goes to Clinton, and she's killing it, right? She's writing great songs, she's out there performing, she is accessible, right? I mean, you guys could have gone to see her, last night. So it's about just sort of looking and discovering new music online, seeing what you like, going and seeing who's playing at the venues, and go introduce yourself to them. You're absolutely right, Leyla. Yeah.
So my name is Christopher, and this is a question for Maude Latour. What exactly is a superfruit, and like, how'd you get the idea?
Wow. I've actually never gotten this question before, so good for you. Question your surroundings, yeah. But I don't know. It's the feeling when you bite into a grapefruit, just like happy, like feeling so good, Yeah, it's good for you. It's juicy, like sweet. It's that for me. The song is like kind of that feeling. I'm a food lover, I guess. But yeah, no. So definitely just like that summer feeling. Yeah, but interpret it however you want. It can be whatever you want it to be.
I think that's a great explanation. I got it. I mean, the first time I heard it, I was
Thank you.
like, yeah, I totally got it.
You got it.
It just made me feel good. That song sounds like a cat like kneading.
Yes. Oh,
it's just like this is what it sounds like.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Did you have a question?
Hi, my name's Therese. I'm also a composer, songwriter. I was wondering, like you guys were saying, practice makes perfect, and you'll never be perfect. I found that out the hard way. But like, at what point in your creative processes are you finally like, I'm satisfied, I'm confident with this after years and multiple times of trying over and over?
To speak for the five of us, I don't think we're ever satisfied with like what we do, and so we're always like moving on to the next thing and saying, how can we top ourselves? And I think that's super important. I think anyone that thinks they're making perfect music, it doesn't make sense. No song is perfect to everyone. It doesn't make sense. So practice, do your thing, but don't try to be perfect. Try to be you and try to be every facet of you.
That was a bar. I think kind of just as he said, like there's practice until you can the second that you think to yourself like, oh, maybe I could step out in public, do it, because there's always gonna you're gonna mess up. You're gonna not be up to the standard that you want to be, but
you like the next time you do that, so you do it the first time, you mess up a lot. The next time, you still mess up a lot, but a little less than the last time. And you just, the more you do it, the more confident you get in it. And like, just as he was saying, you're never gonna be up to your own standards, and you're never you're never gonna be like a perfectly packaged thing that's like ready to go. Like, I practiced for 5 years and finally I'm ready for my huge show, because you know what? After that show, there's gonna be a million other shows, hopefully. So just like, don't be afraid. Same thing. Just like, literally just do it. There's nothing else that you can do.
Also, like, building off of that, whenever you have, like, obviously, like, grind on your own, like, practice when you have the chance, but whenever you have the chance to throw yourself into, like, a situation that's, like, a risk, or you could either lose or gain something from, just to do it, because you really don't have much to lose, and you'll probably gain experience, and if it doesn't come out the way you want it to, at least you'll learn something, and that's a lot more valuable than just doing things by yourself. So even if you don't feel like you're done with something, it's good to just put it out and see what happens.
Yeah, I think also like most, if not all, of being an artist is like being uncomfortable and being vulnerable. And I think that like whenever you release anything, whenever you perform, whenever you just like put your stuff out there, it's gonna be vulnerable, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like I still get nervous before every show, and I don't think that will ever change. Ask whoever, like everybody still gets nervous. And I think that's a big thing that like you have to love that feeling. Like I was always told when I was a kid, like turn the fear to fun. Like that's kind of something that I keep with me all the time. Is that like when you're in a situation where you can be anxious and nervous and where it's like really scary, you don't want to go out on stage and play your song. It's like, how can I take that energy and turn it to like, well, this is what I have, this is who I am, and rather than trying to put out a perfect song, this is where I am right now. And that, I guarantee you, is 100% more interesting than a perfect song. So.
On the creative side, it's important to find a few key people whose opinion that you really trust and to bounce ideas off of them. Like at my company, we have an A&R guy, and he's here today actually, Tom Lee. I bounce a ton of things off of him sometimes before they're even finished, and he'll tell me, you know what, let this one go, it's done, get it out there. So I think it's really important. You're never gonna be fully satisfied. It's important to have that drive to wanna get better, to never be like too comfortable. So sometimes you just need to have those key people to tell you, okay, this is ready to go, this is done, or this is where you can improve it. People whose opinion you trust.
Hi, I'm India, and so I listen to a lot of music genres, and so the songs that I write tend to fluctuate between like 4 genres sometimes. So how did you guys find your sound, and like how did you, I don't know, kind of make it personalized?
Personally, for us, we just, if the music feels right to us and we like it and we're confident in that, we don't try to stick to a certain genre because, we don't feel the need to do that. But if you're creating and you understand what you're making and you like what you're making, then there's no need to stress about that kind of thing.
Yeah, when we were first starting, we were like, let's make any kind of song that we want so that nobody could ever say Laundry Day sounds like this. And now we've come across people that meet us and tell us they don't know how to define a sound, and we want to keep it that way, honestly. And everyone has their different ideas of what they want to do, and people want to find that sound, but for us, it's just not about that. We want to make any kind of music and have music for every different kind of listener.
Yeah, genres are totally outdated, like so good for you that you're like blending all of them. And it's also cool though if you want to play the game for a little, like when you write songs, like challenge yourself to write a jazzy song, challenge yourself to write like a total folky singer-songwriter thing, like just build that muscle like over and over again every single time you start writing. But I think honestly the only thing to finding a sound is that like after you write 300 songs is honestly probably the number, like there will be something cohesive about all of them if they are truly all you, and that's the only thing that like needs to be cohesive about it.
I feel you with that struggle so heavily. I went through a long, like very existential crisis with that stuff. Like even though that's really dramatic, but again, there is literally no point in thinking about genre because everybody is influenced by so many different people, by so many different styles and kinds of music and different sounds, and who your sound is all of your influences filtered through your personal lens, like as through your experiences and your literally the way that your voice sounds like, or the way that your voice sounds. So as Maude said, you just have to write and see, like you never know how. Like for me, sometimes I'll make a song that feels a little bit more like singer-songwriter-y or whatever, or that feels a little bit more like upbeat R&B, but then I'll do some run that somebody will be like, oh, that's like you stole that run from Amy Winehouse, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's, you never know where your influences are gonna come in. They come in the most random parts. So like, long story short, just keep writing. Stop thinking about this stuff. It doesn't matter. The people that define what genre you are in are the people listening to your music, not you. Like, you don't have control over that if you want to or not.
Excellent, excellent. I think that's great advice. I mean, I think you just have to roll your sleeves up and just do it, right? Would you agree with that? It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. It really is. It's about self-expression, and also there's two stages to it. There's one where you kind of just let your ideas out, and the next where you get back in there and kind of edit. And those should really be kind of separate things. Otherwise, you kill it before it gets off the ground. One more round of applause for the panelists, please, Samantha.